So I'm talking today about customer experience, client experience, and the different stages of that. And I'd like this to be participatory. So if you guys have thoughts or questions or anything like that, and bringing the experience to kind of the next level, because a lot of what I do is, and I don't want this to be like me bragging about what I do or anything like that, but a lot of what I do is try to elevate things to be up here, because nobody really remembers okay service, right? They remember terrible service, and they remember exceptional service. But just like in between, it's okay, whatever. So I always want to deliver like really crazy great service and experiences, because that's really what people remember, is the experience of everything. And that goes to a lot of different things. You can kind of break it down transactionally as, pre-transaction, mid-transaction, and post-transaction if you sell a product. But even in our sales, everybody has something that they're doing. You want to generate leads, you want to service those leads, you want to make them clients for life, and that's the goal. So, I want everybody to think about like pre-transaction, what is out there and what experience are you delivering, because even before you meet anybody, you are delivering an experience.
Even a social media post, right?
Social media. So your pre-experience is everything, right? What's out there for a website, what's out there for social media, what's out there, physically, what's out there in the past.
Your logo,
everything.
So when you brought that up, I was intrigued.
Oh, hold on, you got to take the microphone. If you're talking, you can't talk without the stick.
I was talking about, in the past, I've talked about trying to find an intern. And I have two right now that I'm working with. One's actually a graduate, but her resume, her major, I was shocked to see this on her resume. Her major was UX UI, user experience, user interface, as a major in college. Not just the marketing major, but that's what gave her a degree in. And I thought that was fascinating, and it really got me to think about, okay, take a step back, and what is the experience that potential customers are having with me from start to finish. Like,
exactly.
Does my logo resonate? Does my message resonate? Is it clear? Is it is it solving a problem? Is it making them going to Donald Miller and the Story brand? Am I promoting myself and talking about why Expressions In is the hero, or am I, which is what I was doing, and now I'm trying to transition that to how can I make the user the
correct.
Customer,
it's all because it's all about the customer.
User experience is just spot on.
It's a great thing, and it should lead with everything you do about, if you want more customers or more clients, that you deliver all these different things. So not only social media and everything, but it's like when you get a new lead, the experience is down to what happens when they call you. Right? Does it go into an automatic, does it go straight to voicemail like a lot of mine does? Does it go, to a call center? How promptly do they get a return phone call? Then, when you talk to them, do you actually listen? So like I've really, over the past few years, I've tried to slow down a whole lot. So whenever I'm talking to a new client or customer, it's like the world stops and it's just me and them. It's probably the same thing when you're doing a consult.
Absolutely.
Right? You are fully engaged, listening, talking, writing down, because that's the experience, right? And especially with what you do, Walt, is you are delivering an experience, right? Yes, you have a product at the end, but it's the experience. Like you talk about the woman who said this was the best day of my life, since I was born, or since my kid was born, or whatever it is. So how do you keep that, up here? And so, because the last thing you want is them to have a terrible experience. And then they're like, oh, well, that sucked. So even just simply on the phone, listening to them, I tend to focus on really figuring out, what they love. So if you love what people love, you can build rapport easier, whether it be interests with golf or different interests. Of course, animals and kids and things like that are huge. We do a lot of different things. A lot of our client appreciation stuff is designed for children to, because, if you do something nice for my kid, I love you, right? You do something bad to my kid, I'll kill you. It's pretty black and white. But it's the same thing too, with animals. So people love their animals. So a lot of times I will make a mental note of what their dog's name is, and that's all part of the experience because, and it's not inauthentic. I genuinely want to know what their dog is. Or if I see something on social media, I will tend to take it offline. So if a really good client of mine, or really just any client of mine, say they got a new cat or something, or a new dog, I may subscribe them to, BarkBox, without them even knowing or anything like that. It's gifting is a whole nother realm of things that can get elevated. But the other thing that people really care about are their businesses. So, my business is my baby, right? Your business is your baby. So when I see things online, like a past client of mine just celebrated their 10th year anniversary. It's a consignment shop. I said congratulations online and stuff like, hundreds of other people did. But I also sent an edible arrangement. It took me 5 minutes and stuff. Simple, but took it to the next level where it brings it offline. I often will tell the story of when I started the brokerage, 2018, February 2nd, I posted a picture of me on Facebook, and I was next to my new sign. I said, "Hey, going off on my own, everybody," and tons of people, congrats. One of my past clients called me, and he said, "Hey, Carl, I just saw your post. You're going off on your own. That's fantastic. What can I do to help you be more successful?" Right? I'm like, oh shit. That was amazing. It was a really amazing call and hugely impactful. Now, I can't tell you who wrote congrats, but I can tell you about that phone call, right? So that was a great experience for me. So I just want you to be mindful of those things when you're thinking about what to do with your clients and taking things to the next level and going to the next step beyond. And I'm sure many of you have stories about that. I'll share a couple of mine. So obviously, we've got the moving truck, right? And the moving truck is an added benefit.
Are you hoping something's up?
Oh, no, I'm not. Actually, you know what, though? I am going to because...
I just didn't know if you...
Yeah, I don't really have a thing.
That's all right. I didn't know if you...
Should have. So we've got the moving truck, which is a great additional benefit, right? Client experience. So when they use a CGA agent.
The truck is right there.
Yeah, the truck, top, front, and center. People love the truck. Buy or sell with me.
Do you have a lot of takers on that?
It's booked almost daily. People love the truck. Everybody loves the truck. So, it's free for our community organizations and charities. Tons of charities have used it. Middlesex Chamber, Connecticut RiverValley Chamber actually used it once. I forget what for. But it's available in there. So it's super easy to go on and book. But what a lot of people don't know is that when you get into the truck, there is a radio station called CGA Moving Truck Radio. So as soon as you start it up, you hear this. Let's see if this works.
Let me be the first to thank you for using our team. We're happy that you're taking advantage of our complimentary moving truck and hope you have a smooth move. Here are a few of our favorite move songs to help you along.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, right? We got Born to Be Wild, Bust a Move, right? So
That's great.
that's it.
Remember, the good part is coming very soon. Let this next jam help you get in a better mood. And don't forget to have a little fun and maybe even Bust a move.
All right, that's so ridiculous. I mean, that's so stupid. So, but you wouldn't believe. Now, I don't tell anybody about that. You know, nobody knows nothing. And then, but I'll get like messages afterwards that are like, dude, you have your own like radio. You know, it's kind of like the Walt, you know, who does customer experience better than Walt Disney, right? And that, it's kind of the Disney experience, Easter eggs and different things and thinking about things.
Does it automatically come up in play?
It's a CD on repeat.
It's a CD?
Yeah.
Literally?
Yeah, it's in there.
This is a
Yeah.
small world, is that?
No, but here's actually my favorite. So this is
Willie Nelson?
my lead-in.
Now that you've filled the tank, sit
So
back and
hold on, a little setup, right? That before that, "Running on Empty" is the song. So it says, "Keep an eye out for a gas station," and then after that, you got this.
Now that you've filled the tank, sit back and relax while Willie Nelson serenades you as you get on the road again.
Oh, look at that! I mean, leads right into it. I said, man, I am fucking good when that happened. So anyways, you know, that is just one experience of like keeping, you know, elevating things to the next level. You know, we have client appreciation events. So, you know, we did the Lego movie where all of our clients were invited to the Lego movie. We rent out whole theaters. Obviously, this costs a bunch of money and everything, but not only, so whenever anybody comes to our client appreciation events, nobody pays for anything, right? There's never a like, oh, you get one ticket, you do this, there's borderlines around it. No, it's just a free-for-all. Kids can come in, get, you know, popcorn, whatever they want, and parents too, and everything like that. And not only that, but all the kids left with Legos, right? So as they're walking out, we gave them all Legos, which is like, what an experience. Not just a free movie, but we got toys and everything like that.
Those
So
Legos aren't branded?
the Legos aren't branded. No, I know. The same thing with, so like dogs, I talked about taking care of dogs. So we march in the Old Home Day Parade. And a lot of people are throwing out candy to the kids and everything. Well, my daughter came up with the idea to make little goodie bags for dogs. And it says on the back, you know, we love your dog, stamped with CGA. My daughter, when she sees somebody with a dog at the side, runs up and says, "This is for your dog," right? And it's just a additional level of like, oh, wow, that's really nice. Nobody else thought of my dog. What are some other things? Yeah, so we do things for agents too. So we throw a big party for real estate agents every year. It's called the Afternoon Off. It's in August. And it's just not just for my agents, but for all agents, because not only are my clients my customers, but real estate agents are my customers too. So I want experience for them because I win deals because of my relationship with other agents and because people know that if they work with me, it'll be a smooth transaction and, you know, I know what I'm doing and things like that. So
No insurance people.
no lenders, no insurance
No
people.
lawyers.
Exactly. Nobody, just us. That's literally what the flyer says. But so we have it's an open bar. We got food trucks and stuff like that. And then I have what's called Principles and Practices Trivia, which is during it. So here's me. He wants to play his Principles and Practices Trivia. It's like 90 degrees. We're in it's like a big picnic.
It actually fits. Like, it's like you said, that tailor or something.
Yeah, I know. It's so tight on me. Was that? No, I wrote the song. Yeah,
Who
yeah.
wrote the music?
No, that was an Indonesian guy who I use for all my jingles and stuff. Yeah, yeah. So you know, that's a great experience for people, and it's the same like even in the Chit Chat channel. So, you know, I've got our frequently asked questions page. That, you know, Slack bot reminds all of my agents that we have a frequently asked questions page. So every month it does a thing, and let's see if this will play. Oh, hold on. This is the same company.
You covered, we have it all with the FAQ or without jackpot. You can find me right for you. And I can't offer you find the way or the Wi-Fi password will save the day. Questions in your mind, CGA, FAQ, we're here for you. On with our CGA bot, all the answers are waiting for you. Just ask and we'll help.
You should have. You just needed a tooth to.
Yeah, oh, I should have had a sparkle. Good call. So, my agents are, and this is elevating the experience for them. It's not just, doing these stupid things, though. It's taking the time, to talk with them. It's taking the extra time to speak with clients. It's being proactive with clients and discussing with them, what the expectations are. All of that leads into service. And then going above and beyond are kind of the bigger things. Like there was a client who, actually super tragic, a very good client of mine. Her son, single father, 30 years old. Wife is like a junkie or something, out of the picture. He died just randomly. So with a heart attack or something. And so my clients, they're like 65, have like a 2-year-old. Right? It's like, holy shit. Had me sell the son's house, right? I refunded the whole commission back to the daughter, Piper, for her college or whatever. And now, on social media and stuff, who's the first person in there? You gotta go, that experience is beyond what anybody would ever do. And I'm not recommending you just give all your money away. But the same thing with online. We were just talking earlier about people posting in different things, and I record a video back answering questions. Now I do that for a couple of different reasons. One, I want to answer the question that's up there, and give valuable insight, but also I want anybody else who's watching to see that as well. And potentially on Facebook and stuff, there's staying power, so it stays up there for a long time. So if anybody searches in the future for realtor, right? Or if anybody searches, so I recommend everybody go into those community pages and find old posts of roofing, of printing, of insurance, and just put put something in there so you're in the mix if somebody searches, because not everybody just goes and posts a random thing. Whenever they need it. Most do because they don't realize they can search, but many don't because they don't want to put themselves out there in terms of, what all that is. Anyways, I will shut up. I thought that, so what I thought we could do in the last 5 minutes is anybody else share a experience that they have with your customers or thoughts or ideas on how you could elevate that experience, pre, during, or post-transaction, what you could do better, or what you're doing right now that you'd like to share.
Not necessarily an experience I've had, but does anyone know a guy named Christos Provostalis?
Yeah, he's presented to us.
Has he?
Yeah.
So Christos, Christos from the Disney World.
Yeah.
So he, and one of the things that he does a lot of speaking around a lot of this.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they drilled into the people at Disney is, what are we selling here? And people would be like, oh, it's the best amusement park, it's the best ride, the food is, and
every dad hates it here.
But what they're truly selling is the experience. It's the experience of, so it's not a matter of I went to Disney, it was the experience that I had being at Disney. And it's I'm not going to get it across in 90 seconds of saying this, but when you hear him talk about it, it just starts to, you immediately figure out ways to connect it to what you're doing. And boy, the little things that you could step up what you do to make that experience different than just giving someone a life insurance policy or giving someone a headshot or whatever it may be. And it's all a mindset of how you're approaching the relationship as opposed to trying to end the transaction for yourself.
And I think what Disney really does great is that they, the actual Disney experience can often be very terrible. Like, you know, when you're like, what the, but they,
So hot.
yeah, it's hot, it's crowded, it's
Kids
like
are
lines,
crying.
it's awful,
Waiting
right?
line.
I go, I'm never coming back here again. And then, you know, 2-3 years later, I'm like Disney. I'm like, oh, Disney's fun. You know, there's like this whole thing around it. But there are like, it's the nuances, right? The devils are in the details of kind of what some of those experiences are. It's not necessarily about the overall experience than it is about what some of the kind of smaller memorable touches are of those experiences. Like, you know, like, and it often doesn't have to be much. So when I'm sitting with an agent, we're talking about doing an event or doing some sort of marketing effort or something like that, we'll always kind of drill down and be like, what, you know, how can we make it better? How can we make it better? Or what if we did this? Or what if we did that? And it's like, you know, go crazy, dial it back in, but think about the different ways to do small tweaks of, you know, how to make things. Like this weekend, there's agents doing photos with the Easter Bunny in Colchester at our flex space. And they're doing an amazing job. They got there's a new bookstore out there, Folklore and Fables and Folklore or something. Yeah. So they got them coming with some books. They've got a local author who wrote a kid's book that's going to be there, you know, to give out some of those books and stuff. And it's all, you know, but that's going to be an amazing experience for whoever comes, you know, if anybody comes. And that's, I don't know if anybody will come, but it's a nice way, you know, they really were thoughtful. And I guess the key word is intentional about what they do and how they do it. So
One
Yeah.
thing I want to say, because you had brought up earlier too, about the, your expertise. And I think that's important. You know, that's what I've tried to do over the years is because I'm so damn old and been in the business for a long time that, you know, there is a lot of experience. I probably forgot more than I remember, but when you're talking to customers and you portray that experience, I think that means a lot to prospective customers.
Yeah.
Because they know they're not dealing with somebody that just, you know,
right.
on a whim decided to sell printing.
And how do you portray that? Like how do you portray your experience?
Well, the one thing I'll say to them is, you know, I've been in the industry for 55 years.
Yeah.
And had this company for 10 years.
Yeah.
So that little statement there kind of says, you know, okay, he's been around.
Right.
And then as we start talking about, you know, if they have a particular project that they want, yeah, I did something similar to that for a company, and it worked out great. Or
So sharing experiences of past, yeah, that's good. How about when somebody wants a new roof?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually something that we're really focused on this year.
Ooh, good.
Is the whole customer experience. I would say for us, like one of the easiest tweaks that we're making in our process right now is just automation, so that way we don't have to actually communicate with the customer. That sounds weird, but so we don't have to remember to do it, and it just happens. Probably the biggest customer complaint that I hear is that the customer signs a contract, and then they never hear from the sales rep again. And then there's this gap in time between when we actually do the job. We don't know what's going on, right? So all that we've done to solve that is every now and then there's some automated text from the sales rep that goes out telling them, hey, your project's coming up. I didn't forget about you. At the end of the project, there's an automated text that goes out and says, hey, I just wanted to make sure everything, you know, happened correctly and that you're satisfied and all that good stuff. Because, like, to be truthful, our business model is built like sales guys, once they sell the job, should be.
Hey, you're done, yeah.
Right? But we don't want the customer to feel used. So now they get that experience of, you know, it's totally automated.
Yeah, and has added those touch points, increased customer experience. Is there any metrics that you can measure from that? Or
yeah, I think I mean it's just rolling out right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're probably too short term
Yeah.
to determine the metrics, but the way that I envision this too is I want to start using it to push like Google reviews,
definitely.
and to push, you know, any type of referrals that we can
Yeah.
You know, I was at this conference in Salt Lake City last week, and they were talking about customer experience was a lot of the conversation. And so they were talking about how they were, I don't know, some company it was somewhere in Texas a couple of years ago when it was really, really cold, like whenever everything froze. And they had gotten like dinner reservations at like this 5-star restaurant they were all excited to eat at. And they get there and they said the service was amazing, the food was amazing, and the restaurant had no heat because it was in Texas, and all they remember is that it was freezing cold.
Yeah. Right. That's
so,
all
like,
it takes.
That's the thing, right? So like we have to elevate it to this white glove service, and if you screw up, you have to be able to address the error and fix it in a way that they actually remember how much better you are. I think one of the things too, like in regards to Google reviews, I heard this at this conference. I'm going to start talking to customers about this. Is like the deal I want to make with you is that at the end of this process, you are going to write an honest Google review, right? If I screw up, I want you to write about it. But if I make it right, I also want you to write about that.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's a lot more powerful than just 5 stars everywhere.
Yeah. And that's exactly the opposite of what I do. After the closing, I'm like, I'm not sending them a review. Nope, I'm out of here.
There's still some people that follow that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, talking about the restaurant thing real quick, can't recommend this book enough. Unreasonable Hospitality. It's about taking a 2-star restaurant, making it a 5-star Michelin restaurant with Will Guidara. Amazing book. And talking about the nuances of dining at a 5-star restaurant, and this family was in there, and they said, oh, we loved our trip to New York, we just never were able to get a New York hot dog, right? And they actually have people they call the dream people within the restaurant who overhear things and go and got the hot dog, and the chef 5-star made it, and it blew them away. Even the experience of sitting down at the table when the hostess sits them, right? And they say, would you like some water, sparkling or stilled? And they say, oh, I'd like sparkling, and there's like a signal to the water runner, and they come with the sparkling water. Like, it's all like crazy unreasonable hospitality, even to where it gets even creepier, where they Google you prior to coming. Because your reservation is so far out. Right. So like they Google you, they know what you look like. And they say, Joseph, thank you for coming. And in you go. And they know about you, they know preferences, they know all different types of stuff. New York City. Yep. Ranked top restaurant in the world.
What's it called?
It's called No, hold on, I'm going to tell you right now.
Walt Jadziniak Restaurant.
No, it's let's find out.
It's like restaurant.
11 Madison Park. Yeah, it was 2 stars. They made it to the top.
Named the best restaurant in the world in what year? Wow, 20.
Yeah, this is such a good book. I can't recommend it enough. It's excellent. Really, it's an easy read. It's exciting because we all go to restaurants, so it's like thinking of those different things. Really changed my perspective on a lot of things of how service can be kind of bonkers. And how far you want to take it beyond just the normal thing.
Great AI summary.
Great AI summary, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, well, thank you guys. 9:58.
Awesome job.
Thank you.